I'm curious about lots of things. And I like the 5 Awesome Tranny channel a lot. And I'm curious about transvestites. Like, what's going inside their heads? When did they first realize that they were a transvestite? What kind of games did they play when they were kids? Because I've talked to friends who were gay and asked them these questions, and the games they played were different than straights. And it gave me insight into their psychology, and into their self-image and their worldview. And I know this is kind of like this whole intellectual thing, and the 5 Awesome Trannies is not that intellectual a channel, really, even though sometimes it's got some good stuff on it. And then I also thought, why do trannies touch their hair so much more than a girl or a woman would? And, I thought of a reason. I mean, I just kind of I said, well, perhaps by doing so, it kind of reinforces their self-image, their feminine self-image, and then that kind of gives them a positive feedback. I'm not just making that up. But I'm really curious about how all that stuff works. I know that when I was a kid, about 10, there were 2 games that my best friend and I used to play a lot. One was going on a mission. We would hop in a tree, and the tree would be a plane, and we'd go under cover of darkness and parachute jump into enemy territory, and we would plant explosives and slit people's throats, and then they would discover us, and then they'd have searchlights, and we would say beam, and we would jump to the ground to avoid the beam, and then we'd shoot machine gun fire and kill lots of people, and then plant all the explosives, and then when we were done with that, we'd get picked up by a plane, and everything would be exploding as we left. And every time we did it, it was pretty much the same with just minor variations, and it was always a great deal of fun. And this was in the late 60s and all, and there wasn't really that much violence on TV. This was super duper violent. This was coming from our heads. There weren't even movies that were that violent. I mean, these missions were super violent, and I don't know. I think there's something to that. But I'm just doing this because I figure if I tell you some of the stuff, the games I did, and why maybe I don't touch my hair so much because I don't have any, that you guys can explain this to me, because I really would like to know. I'd like to get insight into all these things. The other game we had, which was pretty cool, was called Tree Climbing Course. And my folks had an acre, and they planted Brazilian peppers, Florida hollies, all around the perimeter, which is really stupid. It grows like crazy, and it all gets totally mishmashed. And then the idea we'd have one length of the acre. We'd start on the corner, and we'd have to go to the other end as fast as we can. And all the trees were all combined. And so we would just jump up there, and one person would have a stopwatch or watch and say, go. And then what would happen is you'd go as fast as you can. And if you made it all the way across, if you fell, that was it. You were disqualified if you touched the ground. And sometimes you would fall, and you'd really get the wind knocked out of you. But if you made it, you'd be all bloody, and it was wonderful. I mean, you're totally all cut up, and it was everything. It was great. Anyway, so I'm curious about the psychology of trannies, because a lot of the psychological stuff that's out there, if you look at serious scientific papers, it's really all not very well organized. They haven't got their shit together as far as the stuff goes, because psychology is still very primitive. And I don't know, it would be so cool if you guys, ladies, could provide me with some answers here, because I'm curious. Thanks.